June is here, and the church has always given this month to one image, the Sacred Heart of Jesus. A heart wreathed in thorns, a heart on fire, a heart pierced and still beating. It is one of the strangest pieces of Catholic imagery and one of the most beloved. And this week, on June 11th in Orlando, the bishops of the United States are going to stand together and consecrate this entire country to that heart. That has never happened in the way it is about to happen. So we should slow down and ask what it actually means. The devotion itself comes from a small French convent in the late 1600s. A visitation nun named Margaret Mary Alacoque began receiving visions of Christ. He showed her his heart, visible, burning, crowned with thorns, wounded by a spear. And he said something to her that has echoed through the church for 350 years. He said, "Behold this heart, which has so loved men." That is the whole devotion in one sentence. It is not abstract. It is not philosophical. It is the love of God made visible in a human organ that beat inside the chest of a carpenter from Nazareth. For a long time, the church had been growing colder. Jansenism was spreading through France, a movement that treated God as distant, severe, almost impossible to please. People were terrified of receiving communion. They felt watched, not loved. And in the middle of all that, Christ shows up in a convent parlor and points to his own heart and says, Look how much I love you." The devotion spread because people were starving for it. By the 1800s, the whole Catholic world had taken hold of it. Then, in 1899, Pope Leo XIII did something no pope had ever done before. He consecrated the entire human race to the Sacred Heart of Jesus. He called it the greatest act of his pontificate. The whole world, he said, belongs to Christ. By creation, by redemption, by the love poured out from his pierced side on the cross. And every consecration to the Sacred Heart since then has been an echo of that one act. A family, a parish, a diocese, a country. Each one is saying the same thing. We belong to you, and we are admitting it out loud. That is what is going to happen on June 11th in Orlando. The bishops of the United States are gathering at their spring meeting, and at a votive mass of the Sacred Heart, they are going to consecrate this nation to him. The timing is not accidental. 2026 is the 250th anniversary of the founding of the United States. The bishops chose this year on purpose. They are saying that whatever the country was in 1776, and whatever it has become since, its deepest identity, the only identity that lasts, is found in belonging to Christ. Now, a consecration is not magic. It does not automatically fix a country. It does not undo the abortion crisis or the loneliness epidemic or the loss of faith. The bishops know that. We all know that. A consecration is something else. It is an act of recognition. It is the church standing up and naming reality. It is saying that this land, with all of its history and all of its wounds, was bought by the blood of Christ and remains his. We are not founding something. We are confessing something. And once that is confessed publicly, the consecration becomes a kind of standing invitation. The Sacred Heart does not force anyone. He waits. He He stands at the door and knocks, as the book of Revelation puts it. The bishops are opening that door on behalf of a nation that has largely forgotten he was ever there. Whether the nation walks through the door is up to us, parish by parish, family by family, soul by soul. So this June, while you are watching the news or worrying about the country or wondering what the next decade will look like, remember what is happening on the 11th. A small group of men investments, in a mass that most of the country will never hear about, are going to place this country at the feet of Christ. And in your own home, you can do the same thing. Put an image of the Sacred Heart in a visible spot. Pray the litany of the Sacred Heart as a family. Make a First Friday devotion if you've never done one. Because the heart that loved Margaret Mary in a French convent in 1675, and the heart that Leo XIII consecrated the world to in 1899, is the same heart that is being offered this nation in 2026. It has not stopped beating. It has not stopped loving. And it is waiting for us to say yes. You've been listening to the St. Coleman Parish Podcast from Pompano Beach. Be sure to follow us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify so you can be notified every time we release a new episode.